Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Starcevic Show presented by Motor Startup at Motor Startup on Instagram. And we are in my garage here in Tampa, Florida, as we are getting ready for what should be an incredible weekend in Daytona. We just had the Super Bowl last night, and so we're testing a little bit of studio magic here, or garage magic here. And in my garage, as you see the garage door behind me. So without further ado, we're going to bring in my colleagues here. We have first Tanner Popella from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Gavin Marski hailing from Fort Myers, Florida. Guys, how are we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good here. You know, it's a little cold up here in Pittsburgh. It's nice to be inside. So, still warming up.
Phenomenal. Perfect golf weather down here in Fort Myers.
It is perfect golf weather here in Florida. It's it's starting to hit the mid 70s now. We're climbing into the 80s. It's sunny here. It's been a great time. Better than when it was 30 like 2 weeks ago, but that only lasts for a few weeks. And up north, you guys are shoveling snow. Is this still snowing or no?
No. Freezing rain. So lots of ice. Driving's hard, but I mean, you got to change your tires. It's like NASCAR in a way. You got to keep your tires.
Really?
On. Oh yeah.
Great tie in there, man.
Oh yeah.
Way to relate.
Daytona 500 this weekend. Lots of changing tires. Got to keep them fresh. Not going to be much ice on the Daytona 500 track, but got to keep them nice.
Not at all, but it's still going to be a very fun time, and we're looking forward to it. But let's talk about obviously what happened last night. It was a fun time. It was the Super Bowl. We had a great performance, not from maybe one football team in particular, but the other. Halftime performance was cool as well. Tanner, I'll start with you. Eagles and Chiefs. What'd you make of the game? Did it go how you predicted? What are our initial thoughts on Super Bowl? What was it? 50?
My initial thoughts are Patrick Mahomes ruined my parlay here. That watching that game last night made me hate the Chiefs even more. I was expecting the game to come down to a win by a field goal at least. I had an Xavier Worthy touchdown. That is the only part of my 6-leg parlay that hit. I had Patrick Mahomes' under. He gets garbage time yards. Travis Kelce sucks balls and did get a touchdown. It was just all around bad night. I don't like to see Philly win anything. I think a dynasty of a three-peat would have been a much cooler outcome.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think the three-peat would have been cool, but I mean the Eagles rolled, and the Eagles have scored a lot of points this year, a lot more than I've expected sometimes. I'd say I didn't expect them to put 55 up on Washington, and I certainly didn't expect them to put 40 on Spags last night. We got a big Giants fan down here, Mr. Gavin Marski, obviously hailing from Fort Myers, Florida, but a big New Jersey, big New York guy, as you see there in the back. So what did you make of, were you surprised by Spags' performance last night, Gav? We've raved about him all year.
Yeah, absolutely. Very surprised, very sad to see Spags go down like that. But, he'll be back. He'll be back for sure, along with Patrick. I mean, there's a lot of Chiefs hate going around, but I think the GOAT debate is still open. I mean, the window hasn't shut yet. They have a great team over there. The way they rebuilt that O-line in 1 year and how they rebuilt the defense by trading away Tyreek Hill, we're going to see them again. It sucked to see the Eagles win, being a Giants fan, but all the power to them for going out and signing Saquon. Howie Roseman, the guy's a genius.
Yeah, he was. He made a lot of smart moves. I mean, that D line was causing absolutely horrific trouble for Patrick Mahomes last night, and as we can kind of look at the final score graphic here, was 40-22, which is a little deceiving because realistically it should have been like 40-7. But garbage time points, the Chiefs made up as much as they could. What was your guys? Whoever wants to go first, biggest surprise from the night? What shocked you? Maybe a player specific performance that shocked you last night.
I'll start with saying that Saquon not scoring a touchdown. If you are a better Vegas snagged a lot of people's money by them betting on a Saquon anytime touchdown. because throughout the entire NFL season, throughout the postseason, he was incredible. Probably 200 yards a game, at least a touchdown or two. And to him not score at all in a 40-point offensive game for the Eagles is crazy. I mean, the Chiefs did what they could to force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. He threw the ball and they dominated. So that's the surprise for me.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't that surprising for me, considering watching Saquon on the Giants all those years get stopped at the line of scrimmage and go nowhere at times. But it is surprising to see with the way he played this year. But for me, it's going to have to be the Chiefs secondary going along with Spags. Like, they were giving up a lot of big plays as a result of like trying to stop Saquon. But it was really surprising to see like guys like Trent McDuffie not be like at the top of their game. So that was most surprising for me, probably.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good. You're good, Jim.
For some reason on my laptop, I'm looking at a pixelated Minecraft version of myself standing there. But hey, as long as it's good in your guys' end, we're good. Yeah, I mean, I said the biggest thing that surprised me. I don't want to say Jalen Hurts surprised me because I feel like I knew he was going to be good, but maybe he overachieved like the expectations I had for him. But yeah, I was just shocked by the lack of performance Patrick Mahomes had last time. I mean, he just sucked. I mean, what I was saying today on ESPN Radio is I was like, usually we've seen Patrick Mahomes run around the pocket but that's when he makes the plays, right? We've seen him get pressured sometimes, but that's when he makes the plays, he makes the throws. Last night he just stunk. I mean, he got pressured obviously more than you should have. His offensive line didn't do him any favors, but even when he got the chance to make a throw or make that Mahomey, the Mahomey like throw, it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I mean, that one where he threw gets picked off across the middle of the field. Obviously, Cooper DeJean gets the pick six, and then we got Zach Bond getting a freaking pick right there. Like, I mean, that was a Jameis Winston to the linebacker on the Buccaneers-esque interception right there.
Yeah, man.
So I think that just surprised me, the lack of aura that Patrick Mahomes had last night, going for a three-peat. I mean, Kelsey. Nothing. D-Hop even didn't really even show up. I mean, Xavier Worthy had what Tanner said earlier, the quietest 100-something yard game somehow. But I don't know. Mahomes surprised me. I'm a little nervous thinking about, I know the Chiefs will be back, but I'm a little nervous going into next year about how they'll be. I mean, that was a pretty rough game. I'm not gonna lie.
You could compare that Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes' performance to how he looked against the Bucs against Tom Brady. That Bucs defense owned Patrick Mahomes for an entire game, held him to 9 points, and it looked the exact same. The defensive line completely owning the Chiefs O-line and Mahomes just folding. And it didn't help that his receivers weren't making any plays either. DeAndre Hopkins had that terrible drop in the middle of the field. Travis Kelce couldn't catch a cold. It was just bad all around for the Chiefs offense.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what my Giants were able to do to Tom Brady in those two Super Bowls. It was our D-line who got after him, and it was just the same story here yesterday. And then, like Tanner was saying, when he was in that Super Bowl down in Tampa, Mahomes had no answers, and the Eagles did a great job of containing once he got outside of the pocket and not letting him make those Mahomian plays,
Oh, Jim,
Yeah, that's I have to say we didn't see any of those Mahomey plays. I mean, it's fitting, I guess. We didn't have Romo or Collinsworth on the game. It was Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt. And speaking of Fox, I have a bone to pick. I want to bring this graphic up here real quick. What do we think of this the scoreboard that debuted last night? Because I had a lot of opinions on this piece of crap that Fox debuted last night. As I'll roll the caption in here as well. What are you guys' initial thoughts?
I think it would look 20 times better if instead of the names of the cities, they had the logos there. I think
agree.
that would have made it look a little bit better, but it looks like Roblox freaking – it looks bad. It looks terrible.
At least I know the initials of every team now.
Yep. Thank God. If you didn't know where that Kansas started with a K and City started with the C, there you go. You got it.
So where the score is, like, there's no background there. That's how it was the whole game.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Not a fan. I feel like they always try to roll out these weird looking scoreboards around the Super Bowl time. I don't know. Is that like going to be like sticking into next season?
That's usually what happens. I hope there's enough uproar on social media to where they never let this score bug see the face of the earth ever again. But yeah, that's usually what happens every year. Network gets the Super Bowl, they debut a new score bug, and then they use it for until they get to the next Super Bowl. Basically, CBS did a new one last year. I don't really like that one compared to their previous ones.
Yeah.
Now Fox rolls out this piece of garbage. NBC is the Super Bowl next year. Their graphics are always pretty killer, but yeah, this one's a piece of junk. It looks like somebody opened up, was it like Microsoft Paint or something like that, and then just kind of queued up some sauce here. Except the sauce sucked.
I'm a
So
big NBC guy.
big NBC guy, man. Big Mike Tirico guy
Yes.
here. How about you guys? But
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Chris Collinsworth guy, but I mean, even back in the day when NBC was doing like on NBC Sports, like
yeah,
they would do the NHL playoffs, I thought they did a really great job over there with that. But love everything about NBC, the graphics, everything. But I always typically seem to like the older themes for like all the score bugs and stuff, just because of it's what I grew up with,
yeah.
And same thing for like as a Giants fan, being an NFC team, watching Joe Buck and Troy Aikman call those like key Giants games. And, like Joe Buck gets a lot of hate, but I don't mind Joe Buck. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind Joe Buck either. I think he's gotten better. I think ESPN somehow allows him to be freer, so he like cues up every game and he sounds like he's drunk.
yes,
Uh,
exactly.
when he rolls into what was it that one? I think the one that goes viral. It was the one of him in Tampa. Or he's like, "Oh, welcome to Tampa. You got Tom Brady over here," and he just started screaming or something. I don't know. We know Troy
Yeah.
Aikman's always zooted off of something.
Yes.
So I think Joe Buck just started kind of taking what he got.
ESPN unlocked Joe Buck.
Exactly, bro. ESPN Unlock. Shout out Chris Amont. Anyways, let's move. Speaking of,
Speaking
let's talk about the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance. Pretty solid picture here. I'm gonna go to Gavin. To you first. What did you think of this halftime show? Obviously, in previous years we've had. I know last year was Usher. The previous year was it? Who was it? Was it Rihanna?
That
Yeah.
was 2 years ago, right?
Right.
I
And then
thought the year before that was Rihanna because Rihanna was pregnant and she performed.
yeah, she did have a baby while she was performing. Shout out ASAP Rocky. And then the year before that, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, all the classics. What do we think of last night's performances? Lining them up against like the last 3 to 4 years. What are our thoughts here, Gavin?
I'm not a big Kendrick guy. Like I don't listen to all that much rap and that type of stuff, but so for me it's hard to judge because I'm coming in with like low expectations. But I thought it was all the Super Bowl halftime performances seemed to all like mold together. Like you really have to like pop to like make it like really stand out amongst the others. And I just don't know if he really did that. I mean, maybe Tanner will say something different, but that's my take.
There was apparently like the performance was okay, but there was apparently some bigger message behind the performance that made everyone think that it was better than it was. And Serena Williams was on stage for
She
this.
was there.
So little thing about that is that she dated Drake. So Serena Williams dated Drake, but was on stage for Kendrick Lamar to diss Drake in front of the entire world. So, as as mid and as like low key ass this performance was. I mean, I think it was funny.
See, this is why you need Tanner on here for the pop culture insights. I mean,
yeah, he's very tapped in with pop culture insights. He's very fluent on TikTok and TMZ. So that's what we bring him in here for. But yeah, the global diss on Drake was crazy. I mean, to the way he looked at the camera, as you see right here, smiling when he was like, "Say Drake," and it's just like, whoa, like yeah, he didn't know if he was gonna say his name on there, but then he did, and then he also looked at the camera, smiled, and then called him a pedophile in front of the entire universe. That's some crazy splish. I've seen some crazy splish in my time, and that for sure was some crazy splish.
I had no clue Serena dated Drake. When was that?
Hearing about it, but I forgot.
I believe it was pretty recent, like probably not too long, like not too many years ago. But I think that like Kendrick's entire identity now is just based around dissing Drake, and I think that's a little bit corny. Like Kendrick Lamar has so much like better music and better songs outside of the disses that he made at Drake, but for him to not play like any of his more iconic songs like Rigor Mortis or Money Trees or I mean he played DNA, he played Humble, he played some bangers, but I mean for the crowd to actually pop, like the crowd for the entire show was silent. I don't know if you guys heard that, but the crowd was quiet. Kendrick was a little bit quiet, and it didn't start to pop until he started dissing Drake. So I think it's just like, I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of corny.
Oh yeah, shout out to Danny McGill in our YouTube comment section. He says the halftime show got 2 big booms, only 2. Wow,
I think that's a solid rating.
That's kind of yeah. I mean, it's I mean, I can't totally disagree, but that's brutal right there. To only 2 big booms. I mean, damn. Like I don't even. I think like if we're going on the Costco boom scale, I think I'd rate like the Costco like Caesar salad at least 3 big booms, and I don't even love it.
If we're going on a chicken bake scale, chicken bake is 5 big booms, 100%.
Always, yeah.
But I think 2 big booms for the halftime show is pretty fair.
And this is the analysis people want. This is the analysis people want. They don't care what, your honest thoughts are about it. They don't care about the yap. They don't care about this and the drama and Drake and Serena Williams, blah, 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 whatever. They care about what it was on the boom scale. So, I mean, 2 big booms, that's an interesting take. But I gotta, hey, we gotta low key, maybe 2.5 big booms, maybe like a half boom. I'm almost.
I would not. I wouldn't give his outfit any booms. I mean, bell bottom jeans is just. I don't know. It's just not my style. I don't think it looks good. I don't even think his fit does not get a boom from me.
Hey, respect to Danny though for bringing out the big boom meter. And I had Costco pizza tonight, so I'm a Costco guy.
Hey, Costco pizza tonight. Yeah, I haven't had anything for dinner, but Costco pizza is very good. I had it recently, I believe. Actually, I think it was at the Super Bowl party I was at last night, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, it was.
It's not a Super Bowl party. It
got 5 big booms. Danny says those were his sister's jeans.
Damn. His sister must be tall because
Danny must be a big Drake guy. And you know what? I gotta support him because I am.
Does Kendrick Lamar have a sister?
Somewhere, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, Kendrick Lamar is only 5'5", I believe.
He's a shorter guy, yeah.
Yeah, so they might be his sister if he has a sister's genes.
Let's talk about what people are here for, though. SZA's performance, though. How many big booms we giving SZA's performance?
5 immediate big booms for SZA.
We'll go 5. Why not?
Yeah, I gotta say 5 big booms. if we were eating, I'd be eating all over the place because
Oh,
it
dude.
was a solid performance.
I would whip
Now,
and nay all over that performance.
now we talked about this earlier. I didn't know if she was actually singing or not, or if it was But hey, nonetheless, she has lots of aura. Okay, and it's
Are they ever actually singing though? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that is fair. Um,
Yeah,
I
didn't Adele get exposed for that a couple years ago when she was the halftime show?
think she did. Was it Adele? Yeah. When the hell was Adele the halftime show? I don't remember that.
That was a long time ago.
Maybe ages ago. I don't know. I just hope Bruno Mars does another halftime show. I don't care.
Oh, no, that's valid.
I don't care that he's already done two. Let him do
I
nothing.
think the best halftime show in recent history was The Weeknd.
That's what. Yeah, that's a good take.
I really The Weeknd's halftime show was really good. His intro out to the field was pretty sick, with the big gold room and all the lights and everything. Because Blinding Lights was the big song at the time.
Yeah. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I did like that one. That was a good one. I think I would love to see The Weeknd. He dropped his tour and he's not coming to Raymond James, which doesn't make any sense. But that's a conversation for another time, I'm sure. But I liked Usher's from last year. I thought Usher's was really good. I enjoyed that performance. Lil Jon came out, a little Usher action. Lil Jon, Ludacris. I forgot Ludacris came out and started spitting bars because that's what he does.
Oh yeah.
Never been defeated and won't stop now.
If you're an unk, you know Ludacris. If you've watched Fast and Furious, you know Ludacris.
Oh yeah,
he does what he does.
So I'm not frozen.
No, you're good.
I don't know why I'm staring at Minecraft. Like I'm like frozen. I'm pixelated. And I'm looking at the floor. But hey, we'll watch the YouTube. This is what testing's for, man. We're watching the YouTube film later and break it down and see where we're at. I always have this one video in here that I've never taken out because it's funny. We can all watch it in unison. If you guys have ever seen the pace car in NASCAR, and it it's supposed to peel off and go down pit road here, but last year it spun and wrecked itself into the wall. I thought it was hilarious.
Now the pace car driver is supposed to be good at driving here, Jim, and he just doesn't seem to know what he's doing. He took too long. He's like, oh shit, that's the turn. I gotta turn.
Dude, that looks like when RJ killed DJ Powell.
Oh,
on iRacing.
Yeah, I murdered DJ Powell in that race. That was
Now, what brand is this pace car?
Toyota.
It's a Toyota?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say that looks like something a Nissan driver would pull.
Yeah.
Some terrible drive. It reminds me of the Family Guy clip. Where it's I don't mean to bring race in anything, where little Asian lady's like, I turn now. Good luck, everybody else, and then just smack, just like causes a pile up.
Well, good thing there was nobody on the left, so I guess that's a plus. But
that is a plus. But does the driver of the pace car have to pay any fines or fees if the pace car gets damaged?
Probably, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's covered by State Farm or something. I don't know. Allstate, Progressive.
What's this bum doing on my screen?
I was gonna say, we'll start transitioning here to some Daytona 500 previewing, guys. Biggest race of the year, biggest week of the year. A lot of stuff going on. I leave tomorrow to head to Daytona, and I will be there for 6 or 7 days, depending on how much it rains. Pictured here, Gavin, if you don't know this, Kyle Busch.
Hey,
big, back in the day, big cultural factor of NASCAR. Eminem.
For the culture.
Everybody knew who he was, what he was driving. Nowadays, he drives for another team, and not gonna lie, they kind of stink. Last year, they didn't win a single race, and they had the opportunity to do so, but they kind of just kept choking. It's kind of like he was kind of like if every game was like a divisional or AFC championship game, and Kyle Busch was the Buffalo Bills. Like you'd think he was gonna get there, and then he just keeps losing, and you were surprised by how many times he'd keep losing. Do you guys think Kyle Busch gets a big boom, gets a W this year?
There is no shot in hell that Kyle Busch is going to win anything. I witnessed multiple races where he would lead for laps on end. It would be like, oh, this is the one. This is the one. He's going to do it. And then you'd get down to like 100 laps, 50 laps, and it's just like the McQueen is fading clip, and he just starts falling and falling, and it's over from there. I don't think he's going to win anything.
See, if I say he's not going to pull through, that's like me saying Josh Allen's never going to get over the hump, though.
Okay.
And I think he's going to, Jim. I really do. I think Kyle Busch, I think he's going to pull it off. He's a really popular name throughout the NASCAR industry. I mean, even I know who he is. I think he's got it. I think he's got it. And maybe you could put his age into like NFL terms for me. So how old is he NFL wise?
I think he just turned 37. So in NASCAR years, like I'd say for a quarterback, yeah, it's right around where I mean, because once you get into the the lower 40s, it's like you can keep going, but you got to be really good to stay on top of your game. So
I would compare Kyle Busch right now to end of career
Aaron Rodgers.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ooh, that's kind of rough. Wow.
Damn, that's kind of, I mean,
And that's coming from a Steelers fan.
How many rings does Ben have?
Ben has 2 rings.
Okay, Kyle Busch has 2 championships, so you might be onto something there.
Just
Ben
saying.
never switched teams, obviously. He just became,
He just became dog shit.
Yeah. But that's a good comparison. You could compare Kyle Busch to Ben Roethlisberger, but maybe he'll come up here with a late, playoff push in one of his final years with a nice pass to Ray McLeod to clinch it.
Shout out Ray
well,
McLeod.
if we're gonna
Right.
talk end of career Ben Roethlisberger, we're gonna go to the 2020 Steelers, where they started 11-0,
I remember
just
that.
to lose out for the rest of the season and lose to Baker Mayfield in a wild card game to the Browns. That is why I would compare him to Kyle Busch, is because he's old, but he's still moving pretty well. He's still winning as much as he can until he can't win.
Yeah.
That definitely changes things for me. 2020 Big Ben was not it. And Kyle Busch doesn't even have Mike Tomlin, so I mean he's pretty screwed then.
Yeah, Big Ben was moving around like very slow. It's throwing motions, just kind of just a little slow launcher over the top there. Just enough oomph in that last ball to get it to Ray so Ray could lay out, risk his, entire living to catch that football that Big Ben just hurled at him.
You couldn't even
Ray
get the man under
McLeod
center.
We beat the Bills, we beat the Ravens because of Ray McLeod.
Who was y'all's old offensive coordinator? Wasn't it like Matt Canada or something?
Yeah,
Matt Canada is a Nazi.
Yeah, I mean,
Ben was like, "No, I'm not going under center. No."
Matt Canada sucked. Matt Canada was terrible. I don't like Matt Canada. I don't like Arthur Smith either. Not one bit.
We agree to disagree there.
That's fair.
We saw the terrible damage Arthur Smith did to the Falcons, and we're like, you know what? Maybe he's a better offensive coordinator. And
Arthur Smith never got a real shot in Atlanta. Look at his quarterbacks. I mean, Taylor Heineke
by Dennis
and oh man.
And if you get out-ordered by Dennis Allen, just get the hell out of town. You know what I mean? So that's all I got to say. I want to show you guys this graphic here. So these are all active drivers that are racing in the Daytona 500 this year that have already won a Daytona 500, right? And can you name me somebody that is not on this list that has never won a Daytona 500? We may have just been talking about.
Well, I mean,
it would have to be Kyle Busch.
Yes.
Kyle Busch has not won a Daytona 500 in his career, which is crazy because he's probably attempted to this point. I don't know how many attempts, but getting close to 20 if it's not already there. So he's trying to get a win. As you see, Austin Dillon has won a Daytona 500 somehow. You know, he kind of smells.
I think this Daytona 500 is I think it's going to come down to two guys that haven't won one. I think it's going to come down to Kyle Larson, and it's going to come down to Ryan Blaney.
Okay, I like it. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, two guys that have never won a Daytona 500 before. Ryan Blaney finished second in the championship this year to Joey Logano. Kyle Larson's obviously a former champion. He has won. Ryan Blaney's former champion. He won 2023. Gavin, who you got, man? Gavin, who you got winning the Daytona 500 on Sunday, live on the Fox?
You know, I may be a Giants fan, and I may not like the Dallas Cowboys, but, you know, give me the old Dallas Cowboys head coach, Jimmy Johnson. Same name, Jimmy Johnson. Give me the OG, number 48. Give me Jimmy Johnson. Why not?
I like it. I like that pick right there.
Jimmy Johnson's a true winner when it comes to NASCAR. He's probably one of the more accomplished NASCAR drivers, I'd say.
Now, Gavin, I got an even better question for you. Can you name the 3 drivers on your screen right now?
Ooh.
You got to get at least one of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Bubba Wallace, I think.
There we go. All right.
Happy Black History Month.
Everybody's got to know that.
Yeah, and then I'm going to tap out after that, I think.
He's done. So you got Tanner, can you name who's on your screen? Obviously, Bubba Wallace, we know. I'd hope you know the other one on the right.
I'm going to have to look close. Yeah, you got Ryan Blaney over there.
Yep. No, you got in the middle. He drives the 24 car currently.
Oh, shit. I can't think of it. I can't put a name to his face. I don't know.
William. You know the last name?
William
B.
no.
William Byron.
Oh.
24.
Joe Byron.
Joe Byron.
Obviously, it's not Jeff Gordon. What it used to be, but that is William Byron.
I'll say that graphic is really tough.
The graphic is hard. I didn't make it. I stole it from NASCAR's Twitter, but
hey, shout out to NASCAR Twitter.
Hell yeah, shout out NASCAR Twitter. So we got the Super Bowl is done. We're looking forward to the Daytona 500 this week. Anything else notable going on in sports right now? Oh, tonight in about an hour time, I believe, Luka Magic supposed to make his debut with the Lakers, I believe. 10:30 game against the Jazz on ESPN. I think it's the Jazz. If I'm not mistaken.
What's happened to the Jazz? I saw the record. They're like down the shoot.
Oh, well, I didn't think they were ever up the shoot.
I mean, there were those years with Mitchell and Gobert where they were like always in the playoffs.
Oh, they traded him.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody wanted to play in Utah anymore. So, except for Lauri Markkanen and whoever the hell else is there. I think Walker Kessler plays for Utah. He's new in the league.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert got out of there. They're like, yeah, I'm not Mormon, so I'm not going to play in Utah. You know.
What was up with Andy Reid? Someone asked him like what his 3 favorite books were or something, and he's like Bible, the Book of Mormon, and something else. So is there something to that? Is Andy Reid Mormon? Is that why he lost? I don't know.
I didn't see that. That. Interesting. But what I did see is Kenny Pickett win a Super Bowl. Now Kenny Pickett and I go way back. You know, I was at Kenny Pickett's first college football game for Pitt ever when he came in as a true freshman and upset number 2 ranked Miami. And watching that in person, I was like, who the hell is this kid? You know, no one ever thought much of it. No one ever thought Kenny Pickett would be anything crazy. But a Steeler for a little bit. And I mean, his tenure with the Steelers was he had Deontay Johnson for a little. He had George Pickens. and he had Matt Canada. So, I mean, his 2 games without Matt Canada were the best 2 games he played. He got hurt. Steelers let him go. Yeah, I mean, he's a Super Bowl champ now. So,
Hey, shout out Kenny Pickett. Little Kenny Pickett devotional for your Monday. This reminds me of when I went to Daniel Jones' first game starting in the NFL, and I'm like, this guy is going to be our franchise quarterback, and we all know how that turned out. Same as Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, it sure did. Daniel Jones seemed to get a lot more time than Kenny Pickett did, though. That's for sure. But Daniel Jones is how many years did he start for the Giants now?
I think 6.
I mean, they freaking got drafted before COVID. We just finally moved on. I mean, it's insane. I mean, Daniel Jones was playing when freaking Mike Glennon was still walking around the league.
Oh, man.
That's how long ago it stretches back. Daniel Jones, we forget, backed up. Most people don't forget, but they when they realize it, they're like, damn, Daniel Jones backed up Eli Manning, who was nominated for Hall of Fame this year.
Right.
Didn't make it.
He had a long leash. He didn't have a good team around him, but we saw this year that he can't elevate. So we gave him his
Wandale
money,
Robinson
and then he didn't
better.
perform like a top quarterback.
Exactly. Wandale Robinson deserves better. So they're gonna get somebody better next year. We'll see who it is. Last thing, who is our draft? Who are we looking for in the draft next year? The NFL season's over. We got a Giants fan. We got a Steelers fan. Mr. Giants fan, Gavin, go first. Who are you looking for in the draft this year, man?
If there's an option to trade up to that number 1 spot with Tennessee, I'd like me some Cam Ward from South Florida.
Yeah.
Not USF, but Miami.
Yeah. USF doesn't have quarterbacks like that, or players by any means. But Tanner, are you looking for the Steelers?
Javon
What
Thomas.
do you guys need? No, you guys not draft eligible. But maybe in a few years. Who you really got?
So we need wide receiver help, but our own line, and we need a lot of help. We need to draft for Cam Hayward. He's getting old. I would like a D lineman, but I don't think one would really worth a first-round pick. I'd like Amiga Ekbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I think that'd be nice. We don't have to worry about trading for a wide receiver. Out of Ohio State is a guaranteed stud. I think it's a safe pick. So first round, I'd like Amiga Ekbuka.
Hey, speaking of the Steelers, though, it came out that Steelers are not bringing Russ back. So, hey, Russ to New Jersey, I'd like to see it as a little bridge.
All power
Giants
to you,
country.
brother.
Come on.
You can have.
Hey, man.
You can have
New Orleans Saints will be looking for a quarterback. Although I read a report this week that says Devontae Adams is eyeing the Saints as one of his teams, which I read that and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Let's bring in Devontae Adams. And then I read the second part, which said to be paired with Derek Carr. And I said, hell no, because we need to get Derek Carr the hell out of New Orleans. I'm sorry. I never thought Derek Carr was bad, but again, he's just not a guy that's going to be able to elevate a program. And when you have a team like ours, where we are poor, we have no money available to spend. Our offense is deteriorating. We have killed Chris Olave last year and his brain function. Thank you, Derek Carr. We just need somebody. I'm fine with taking a bridge year. Not gonna lie. If we can get a quarterback in the next few years, hey, if we get ourselves a Archie Manning, you know what I mean, down the road, let's sign Jameis next year. Let's take a bridge year. See how it goes. A little Jameis, keep Spencer Rattler in the system. Jake Hayner, send him to Cancun. I'm fine with never seeing his face ever again on the football team. Hey, sign famous Jameis. Let's go have a fun year so he can be the one. At least Jameis doesn't throw hospital balls, okay? At least Jameis will chuck it down the field, but not when you're running directly into freaking Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or something to rip your head off. So I'm good with signing famous Jameis. I don't think we need to draft a QB. I'm fine with waiting until next year because our pick's not good enough, So I don't know. Archie Manning and New Orleans colors would go pretty hard, man. But I think we still need to have a good draft this year. We need some O line help badly. We need some defensive help. We need some receiver help. We need we need help at every position possible, probably. So
This is the Derek Carr experience, a guy that doesn't push the ball downfield at all, and then it makes you want to have Jameis Winston.
yeah, I mean, he tries to push the ball downfield. It
If
just
he does something, that's
to
what
the
he
other
does.
team usually. It's weird. I don't know. Like we're not throwing downfield, and then he finally does, and for some reason he thinks he's playing for the opposite team. I don't know. His brain, something's wrong in the head or something, and then he goes and like kills Chris Olave 2 times a week. So um, I don't know. Hey, it's gonna be a fun draft. We got a while and well, not a while, I guess, really a few months until the NFL draft, and then that becomes the summer stretch until the season. Um, but NFL season's going to be fun. We got Daytona 500 this weekend. Any closing remarks, guys, before we head off the air, off of YouTube here?
I'd like to give
Rough day.
Danny McGill a little shout out. Shout out Danny for tapping into the
man.
show.
Rough day yesterday for Saints fans, Giants fans. Chauncey and Zach Bond getting rings, Saquon getting a ring, but there's better days ahead. Daytona 500 coming up to cheer us up, so it's going to be a good week going ahead.
It's going to be a good week. Hopefully you watch this back. Hopefully it wasn't frozen. Thanks for Danny and the other person in here watching this test stream. Everybody have an absolutely blessed rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in to the Motor Stardom program here, and